Hey y'all, the real Jimmy Roberts one here. So let me ask you, why do we do this whole Mars thing? Now, I know why I do it, but you out there, why do you watch this channel and other channels like it? What is it that you get out of it, and what would you like to get out of it? As for me, well, when this channel began, my goal was to use my skills to convey some things that most people may not have realized was going on. I wanted to open as many eyes as possible to the possibility that we aren't quite getting the truth regarding Mars and some other things you could consider as being, well, related. I think we did well there with that, at least up until the powers that be changed the algorithm and we stopped reaching new people. Well, at least for the most part. So, most people viewing this channel have been here for a while now. If you do happen to be new, welcome, bienvenidos. Now, I realize there's newer rover imagery out there now, and that, of course, includes Perseverance. And of course, we will be looking at those, but you need to know that there's only so much that can be done there until NASA releases the accompanying data. And that'll take a while, as they don't even have all the Curiosity data available yet. And I'm talking about the paired and mapped navigational camera imagery that we use for size and distance measurements, as well as 3D viewing. I got to tell you, I don't want to chase pareidolia anymore. One, it's a waste of time. Two, it makes you look silly. Three, it's unprofessional in every aspect. You will not be taken seriously. And you shouldn't be. I've been guilty of this myself because it's fun and easy to spot so many wild things on a two-dimensional screen. To do this properly, though, to work to expose the truth, you first have to become a skeptic of everything you think you see and of everything other folks claim that they see. You must become a debunker of sorts. That's right, I said it because it's true. Even with the obvious obfuscation of these images, there's plenty of great visual evidence in these rover images without having to make claims that just often do not hold up under close scrutiny. Now, what I want to present to you today is something you should find interesting. I recently decided to sit down and spend the time necessary to try and debunk a claim that's been around for years and propagated by many, including myself. That's something that really looks to play the part. Almost too good to be true, and you know what they say about that. So, do you remember this? Now, this isn't what we'll be getting to, but it's important to set a precedent here first. This alleged woman on Mars appeared on the internet years ago and subsequently helped to make all the good people trying to show that something unsatisfactory is going on Mars appear, well, silly. Now, here's an example of a story tagline. Mars rover spots a weird dark lady watching it from the surface. Well, how is it that we know she's weird? Why is she deemed a dark person? And how do we know she's watching any damn thing? And most important, how do we know that this is a human? Here's NavCam imagery from 3 Martian days prior, and there's your woman. And unless she's been playing Simon Says Stand Still for 3 days and is under 2 inches in height, I think you understand. Now, instead of wasting time with that nonsense, how about this? There seems to be material appearing as more than just rock scattered about this very area. Take a look. And even though it's grayscale and not the greatest resolution, these NavCam images often provide a less adulterated view of the Martian surface. Do you see the outline from the seams on the surface? Now, this should help to put things in perspective. And if you're used to imperial units of measure, 0.9 meters is right about 3 feet or 1 yard. Now, one of the most discussed mosaic images from any of the Mars rovers. This is Curiosity's PIA 16453, also known as the Rock Nest image. Components for this image were captured on the 64th Martian day after the rover landed, and that would be around November of 2012 on the Earth calendar. And hold on, what's up with that? Is that a human standing there, casting a shadow on the surface of Mars? With all the obfuscation we've seen in these images, surely they wouldn't have been this careless. Bit of a context view here. There on the left is where it is. And we grabbed some navigational camera imagery from that same location. And with the matching stereo images, along with the analyst's notebook, we can perform some Cartesian magic. I just want to show you here how the mosaic from the right mast cam matches not perfectly, but very nicely with the navcam mosaic. We got this as close as we could, as distant measurements can be tricky, but the black circle with the number 1 at about 10 o'clock above it, well, it's about 46 meters from the rover. That's 150 feet or 50 yards. And that's important, folks, very important. And here we've overlaid that same mast cam image. See how it blends nicely, matches up really well. Now we bring in our world-renowned 5-foot 1 1/2 inch calibrated Martian model Missy, and there you have it, folks. Now, if that's a man, someone should surely warn him he's about to be stomped into a Martian mud hole. Now, there are people out there who continue to believe in the little Martian man fantasy, and maybe they're right. Perhaps there are little people on Mars. I cannot prove that there are not, so I cannot say. But as for this guy, consider this. We have another right mast cam mosaic of the area. A slightly different perspective because it's from Sol 51, which is about 100 yards back up the road and 13 Martian days prior to the other image. That's right, we got you now. Now please notice the difference in parallax in specified points. This is due to the perspective change, and it becomes more pronounced the further we look to the left. So with this mosaic created from images 13 Martian days prior, let's see if the little man was there. And that's him, folks. It's vague, but the outline of the head, left arm, I do not think the little man stood in place for 13 days. I really don't. Look, it was just good pareidolia, that's all. But hey, don't let this discourage you. Look, folks, we got something else going on here. I don't think a lot of people realize that this other mosaic of this area exists. We have a different perspective and an apparent difference in the obfuscation process. Here we compare the two images taken 13 Martian days apart. The arrows are pointing to landmarks that are the same in the top and bottom to help you get a grip on perspective. And the rulers represent about 4 feet. Now check out the difference between this and this. You know, even with the slight perspective change, I think we would expect to see a little bit more of what we're seeing on the bottom up on the top image. I think something's gone on here. And where is this in the top image? Well, there it is. But notice, barely visible. A lot more obfuscation. Now, let's look at something else here close by. Let's pull away a little bit and let's go down and see this area right here. Now, we are looking at that original PIA, or the actual mosaic that made that up. Once again, see this area right here? It looks interesting, but guess what? Guess how this looks in the earlier image. Pay special attention to this and this. So, looking at the image taken 13 days prior from the PIA, look at this. What does that look like to you? To me, it really looks like a spool. Now, I'm not saying it is, but that's the shape that I'm seeing. It looks like a cable spool. And when you go back to the PIA, taken 13 days later, no resemblance whatsoever. Welcome to the rockification of Mars.